Hi, it's Amanda of Mother's Rock. Quick video about meditation. Do you think that you are too busy in your mind to be doing with meditation? So I think this is a major resistance. People think that it's just their minds are too busy, and the idea behind that is that if your mind is busy, then it needs to be busy, and the thoughts that you are thinking are very important, and you have to get to the end of them because they're important. That's part of your identity. This thinking, thinking, thinking. And today, my thoughts were busy, really busy, like intense, heavy, emotionally kind of full thoughts going on. And I came out here to meditate, and I just sat and I just was thinking for ages, and then I realized I'm not actually doing any meditation. And that's okay. It's good to sit and think and be peaceful, but being busy in your mind is actually when meditation really, really counts. It's when that's the heavy lifting, but it's really worth it. So just briefly, I was doing a meditation today called the mindfulness of breathing, and it's got 4 different parts. The first part is very simply being aware of your breath and counting each one as it goes by. And if your mind gets distracted and you start thinking about whatever you're thinking about, you have to go back to 1. And on some days, you go up to 10 and then you go back to 1, and you do it for a certain amount of time. But today, with my heavy sort of addictive thinking, I couldn't get past 3 or 4. I couldn't. I kept trying and I kept trying, and it was just so intense. And I actually at one point kind of paused my attempt to do this meditation, and I had to literally imagine I was picking up those thoughts and throwing them off me, just like, ugh, get off, and that was actually almost quite amusing. And then I realized that I could do that, and it opened up a space then to be just with my breath. And here is a big tip about trying to meditate and be aware of your breath when you're in that thinking mode, thinking, because you then start thinking about your breath. And that's like a trick, you haven't really done anything, you've just switched the content of your thinking mind. And then I remembered this tip, which is to get curious, like really curious about your breath. And it might sound trite, and it might not sound interesting, something to be curious about, but if you are, you open up the moment, you expand your awareness, and you quickly see that actually your attention is caught on your breath, because you're not sure what's going to happen next, and your breath can be different every time, and you think that you're doing big deep breaths into your belly, but actually you're just doing very small breaths, and some are longer than others. And there's a whole host of stuff that you can catch your attention on. And I only did it for a few moments. I'm not an expert meditator, but I had lifted those heavy, intense thoughts away from me just for a few moments, and I can tell you it feels a lot better to know that I've done that, and I can go back to them if I need to be, but I'm not in them anymore. And that's regaining control of myself, my emotions. It's empowering, it just feels a lot nicer, and it means I'm actually here in this beautiful space, not sitting and actually just existing only in my heavy thoughts, which I could have in my house, I could have in the car, I could have anywhere. But it brings me to this moment right here. And that's what people mean when they're talking about being present and being in the moment. It's literally picking those thoughts up and dumping them somewhere else for a few moments and being curious and alive and awake to what's happening now. And if you can do that when your thoughts are heaviest, then you've done some work, you've really done something important. And if you can do it when everything's easy and peaceful, then that's great too. But you don't have to wait for things to be peaceful to do a meditation. You want to do it in the middle of the storm. You want to be able to force yourself to do it when things are heavy, when things are intense, when life is difficult, when your brain is begging you to work stuff out. That is the time to try it out. So don't think your mind is too busy for meditation. Don't think your life is too stressful for meditation. That's what meditation is for. That's what it's for. And you know, it's a challenge. It's not all, you know, rainbows and unicorns meditating. It's a mental challenge, and it's really the big, you know, it takes you back to what you are, who you are, and where you are. And honestly, that's where any problem gets solved from anyway. So give it a go. Don't think that your thoughts are too important to put down, because they're not. And I'll leave you with my lovely beach.